Good evening and welcome to News Hour on the weekend with me, Ibrahim Samara. Coming up, President Julius Maada arrives in Istanbul, Turkey for a two-day third Turkey-African Partnership Summit with its theme, Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity. The Minister of Internal Affairs, David Noah, launches the UN Peace-Building Fund cross-border project to be implemented between Sierra Leone and Guinea. And the mayor, as part of our transforming Freetown into one of the cleanest in the world, launches the Solid Waste Management Micro Enterprises Program. More news and details are lined up in this edition of News Hour. But first, let us take our public health message on COVID-19. That was a public health message on COVID-19. So stay safe. Coronavirus is deadly. President Julius Maada has arrived in Istanbul, Turkey for a two-day third Turkey-African Partnership Summit. The summit has its theme, Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity. Ahead of the summit in Istanbul, Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Austin Dembi, had a meeting with his Turkish counterpart, Dr. Fahrettin Koca, where both agreed to strengthen bilateral relationship in health information, health infrastructure, and health investment. The Turkish Minister of Health, Dr. Fahrettin Koca, said they have provided 10 million doses of vaccines to Africa while promising to support the Sierra Leone healthcare system. Dr. Dembi told him that Sierra Leone health sector is open for opportunities in public-private partnership, and public partnership. Meanwhile, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu has assured Professor David Francis that his country will campaign to its allies in the Middle East, Asia and other parts of the world in support of Sierra Leone's bid for a non-permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council for the period 2024-2025. Sierra Leone's Foreign Affairs Minister Professor David Francis described Turkey as a strategic partner and sought support from them for Sierra Leone's bid to become a non-permanent member at the UN Security Council. Sierra Leone is the sole candidate from the ECOWAS region and the African Union endorsed candidate in the non-permanent category for 2024-2025. The Turkish Foreign Affairs Minister for his support to Sierra Leone during a meeting they held before the Fourth African-Turkey Summits. Meanwhile, the Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Professor Alpha Tijanwuri, did a presentation at the Third Turkey-African Partnership Summit. Here is an excerpt of the presentation.
2018, with the advent of this government, there has been a unique heightened improvement in resources in the education sector. Whereas 4 years ago we were talking about 11% of the national budget, today we're talking 22% of the national budget put into the sector. It has made a major access. There has been a 20% increase in the school sector, which now we have something like 2.6 million children in our schools. Two other areas we have looked at. Whilst early childhood education was something done mainly in the private sector, 2 years ago, it is now a public intervention. The other area, the other extreme, is what we call radical inclusion as a consequence of the war, the consequence of Ebola. We have a lot of people that require special needs attention. We have pregnant women that we have now formally allowed to access formal education. That has made a difference in
That was the Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Professor Alpha Tijanuri, at the 4th Turkey African Partnership Summit in Istanbul, Turkey. The Minister of Internal Affairs, David Noah, has launched the UN Peace Building Fund cross-border project to be implemented between Sierra Leone and Guinea. The project is funded by the UN Secretary General's Peace Building Fund and aims at bridging the division between cattle herders and farmers in the sister countries through conflict resolution mechanisms. The event took place at the conference hall of the Internal Affairs Ministry, Gloucester Street in Freetown. Here is the report. The project will be specifically implemented in Falaba district on the Sierra Leonean side and Farana Prefecture in Guinea. These two districts from either side have one of the largest concentrations of cattle ranches, and reports of conflict between the herders and crops farmers have been evident. This was the reason the UN initiated the project to build cross-border peace and strengthen sustainable livelihoods of cattle herders and crops farmers in the two countries. WFP Country Director Steve Nsumbuka said the UN Peace-Building Cross-Border Project intends to provide concrete support to address issues of potential destabilization in the border areas of Falaba District and Farana in Guinea. He said WFP's utmost priority is people and communities, promote peace among them and crops farmers and cattle herders to thrive and build livelihoods side by side. Head of Mission IOM Sierra Leone Dr. James Bongoza said climate change has altered traditional movement patterns and increased transhuman migration as cattle herders and farmers look for more cultivable land, further increase intercommunal tensions. He said IOM would conduct a comprehensive border and migration assessment to better understand transhuman migratory routes, trends and impact in the border communities during the project implementation. Internal Affairs Minister David Pandanwa said he was with the firm conviction that the implementation of the project, communities in Falaba and Farana would benefit both countries from improved cross-border relations and promote peaceful coexistence between cattle herders, crop farmers through the provision of smart climate livelihoods. WFP, IOM and the Ministry of Internal Affairs would co-implement the project for 24 months and provide livelihood support, establishment of community pasture infrastructures, and solar-powered irrigation systems. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown. The National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate has ended its monitoring of the country's response to COVID-19 pandemic. The monitoring exercise was done in two-phase stakeholder engagement with collection of data from NACOVAC, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, National Commission for Social Action and Statistics Sierra Leone. Well, following the exercise, the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate has brought together the stakeholder from the institution mentioned earlier to report its findings. Dennis Fraser, witness the workshop.
National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate, NAMED, has been monitoring several programs and projects by government, including the Midterm National Development Plan, MTNDP, and operates government-wide monitoring and evaluating system. Since March 31st, 2020, when Ministry of Health and Sanitation reported the country's first case of COVID-19, National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate has been following up on government response mechanism. Hence, after a year of battling with the pandemic, it has put together a report on lessons learned. This document seeks to address what went well, what did not go well, what was missing, and how it can be improved. Deliberations on the lessons identified will be incorporated into the monitoring report, which will be finished and shared for point correction in the ongoing response and for future actions on any disease of similar nature. National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate is trying to implement a sustainable long-term system that can take care of the ongoing fight and better prepare the nation in the event of future epidemic or pandemic.
Which is launching the response itself. If the government had waited probably a month or two, we should be in a different position right now. Even the disbelief that there's no COVID here is because the government responded pretty hard, closing the borders, instituting other measures like getting a technical team together, establishing NACO. These are all issues that happen.
From the Ministry of Health and Sanitation's perspective, they hope to use the document to prepare for launching and instituting rapid response, implement control measures, and increase awareness on vaccination.
Look at what went well, what did not go well, and what we would be able to do to improve on this. And in public health, there is a saying, in fact, in peacetime, you have to prepare for war. So we are looking at what we have done, and we would be able to...
As Omicron spreads globally, there is growing interest in how governments respond to the novel pandemic, cooperations with partners, and robust action to controlling the spread through vaccination. SABC NewsHour, Dennis Fraser reporting.
Managing waste has been a serious challenge for the Freetown City Council over the years. Despite effort to see the capital sanitized, many are still in the habit of disposing waste in an unregulated manner. To help address such challenge, the Freetown City Council has engaged tribal heads to enforce bylaws to keeping a city clean. Joseph witnessed the session and our reports.
Depositing waste in an unregulated manner poses a serious threat to the health of many Freetonians. Though existing laws seek to curb such negative practice, many still continue to do such. The limited number of metropolitan police cannot man the capital city to enforce bylaws. Thus, the involvement of local authorities to help enforce bylaws was considered as taking the council to the people. Having the tribal heads into ensuring sanitation is maintained in the capital, Mayor Yvonne Akisoya was confident would be sustainable as in line with the Transform Freetown initiative.
In terms of effectiveness, we focus on changing behaviors with the Cleaner Zone competition, which is about incentivizing, but from an enforcement perspective, we need more hands on deck, and working with the chiefs gives us that additional coverage. So in every community now, the chiefs have been empowered, we've delegated the authority to them.
Those who will be found wanting will be paying fines to the tribal heads. She explained more on how the initiative will be carried out at ward and zonal levels.
Back to council, we've delegated a specific level of authority to the chiefs. So at the sub-chief level, the chiefs can fine 100,000 leones for sanitation offenses, and they will collect that money themselves and they will use it to build enforcement at the local level. That's really key because we have between 1.2 to 1.5 million people in our city and we only have 150 Met Police. So as you can imagine, that's on average one Met Police for about 100,000 people.
Tribal heads were appreciative of the idea, registering that they have crucial roles in ensuring sanitation is maintained in Freetown. They pledged commitment to implement the bylaws fully. SLBC, Joseph Touré reporting.
Meanwhile, the mayor, as part of transforming Freetown into one of the cleanest in the world, has launched the Solid Waste Management Micro-Enterprise Program. The program has seen the handing over of 40 waste collection tricycles and other cleaning gears to 240 youths who would be collecting household waste. Emmanuel Samora was there and now reports.
So now with great joy, with great gladness, now at the Lord MMC, FCC, improved waste collection.
These are the 40 tricycles handed over to youth groups to be collecting and discarding household waste. The issue of waste becomes prevalent in the city, especially during festive seasons, and these tricycles are meant to mitigate the indiscriminate disposal of dirt by targeting it from the source, which is usually homes. Mayor Freetown City Council Yvonne Akisoya said the project is part of a dream to see Freetown transformed and be classed among the cleanest cities. She added that they have also adequately capacitated the youth to handle and manage waste.
About this is, these are the direct jobs, but you also end up with indirect jobs. Because from our earlier phases, what we've seen is some of those youth groups have gotten to a stage where they're able to go out, whether on hire purchase, on outright purchase, buying secondhand. They've added to their own fleet and they've got their own tricycles that they've added, so they've grown their businesses. So that means that more jobs.
Mayor Akisoya encouraged them to be watchful of those who throw dirt in the street and report them to the authorities. Giving an overview of the project coordinator Solid Waste Management Micro-Enterprise Program, Augustine Kamara, said the project will work as a microfinance loan scheme, where each group will pay 50% of the total cost of the tricycle, which is 14 million loans within 2 years. He underscored that the project has employed 240 young people divided into 40 groups comprising 6 members each, with 1 tricycle for each group. Mr. Kamara said the beneficiaries were sourced from 10 informal settlements in Freetown, and the expected outcome is to increase the sanitation target by 50%, serve additional 15,000 households, among others. Beneficiaries thanked the mayor and funders for the opportunity given and promised to utilize it to the best of their ability that will make them become employers in the future. Emmanuel Samora, SLBC Freetown.
The Westminster Group has provided assorted food items to the fire victims hospitalized at the Connaught Hospital as a show of love and care to the victims. Speaking to SLBC, the managing director of Westminster Group, Musa Yorobari, said the donation was to help complement the government's effort in saving lives of the fire victims.
We donated about 120 packs of water, 12 to 14 big bags of rice, some oil, sugar, milk, general household commodities, mainly for those victims that are on their way home, so they can have something to use with their families over the holiday period. Nobody wishes an incident like that on anyone, and I think in times like this it's really important for communities to come together and show support. I don't think anybody would want to be caught up in an incident like that. Those that are departed, we pray for them and their families, And I think, you know, like I said, communities should come together to support those that are now surviving and help them get back on their feet.
So can you give us a background or some preparations as response?
Okay, so it's a group of companies. Like I said, the donation today is from the foundation, which is the charitable wing of the company. Our main business in Sierra Leone is at the airport. We provide aviation security. Next year will be our 10 years in Sierra Leone of operation. And, you know, we've become part of the infrastructure out here. And we look forward to continuing business and showing support as and when necessary.
That was the Managing Director, Westminster Group, Musa Yorobari, ending that report. Ex-Pupils Association of the Freetown Secondary School for Girls have also presented Christmas gifts to their teachers of the school. The donation took place at the school compound Brookfields. Fatima Kamara has the details.
The president of the Ex-Pupils Association, Cornelia Gabedon, said it is a Christmas gift and a way of appreciating the effort of teachers towards the pupils.
We are all here to seek the welfare of the staff. This has never been done before. We raise money for our members to the tune of almost 21 million. Put together to give donation courses to the staff members for the exercise.
Receiving the money, the principal of the Freetown Secondary School for Girls, Gloria McFoy, appreciates the association for their support, saying it was good to receive such gifts at this festive season and expects more of such gestures in the future. The FSSG teachers were happy with the gift and assured the association to work hard in order to prepare the pupils for internal and external exams. For SLBC News, Fatima Kamara reports.
As a way to address the sufferings of those who find it difficult to access health services, the Creole Descendants Union has undertaken free screening, treatment of malaria, diabetes and other illnesses to residents of Wilberforce community. Evelyn Cole reports.
Over 100 residents of Wilberforce community have received free medical treatment from the team of the Creole Descendants Union. Free screening and treatment for diseases such as malaria, breast cancer, diabetes, dental and eye care were done for the aged, youth and children. According to the health pillar lead in the union, Matron Waltina Cummins, for the past 3 years, such medical services have been provided for various communities in Freetown. Getting people to always come out and receive treatment was a concern for her.
The ways we can stay well is by annual checkups or even quarterly checkups and things like dewormers, pain medicine, things like that. So now that makes sure we can, because we know say economically there is a lot of challenges in the communities.
Councillor Ward 437 Aminata Jibril described the venture as very timely for the community, especially during this festive season.
How difficult it is for one to get medical attention in this country. So if we have their attention to give us free health attention, free health treatment, I think it's laudable.
The Creole Descendants Union is an offshoot of Settlers, which was formed in 1952 to reunite its offsprings and pass its rich culture and heritage to the younger generation, and most importantly, contribute to nation development. SLBC News are Evelyn Cole reporting.
The Creole Descendants Union Global also provided free health treatment to community people both in the east and western part of Freetown. Our reporter Mohammed Kuruma was there.
Health indeed is wealth, and everyone's contribution towards developing the health sector is needed. Community people are in dire need of free health care facility to keep their bodies healthy. This goodwill by Creole Descendant Union Global to offer free treatments to some community people in the east end and western parts of Freetown was an attempt to complement government's efforts towards improving the country's health sector.
Well, it's a goal and a mission and a vision of the Descendants Union to help give back to our people. We're not only helping Creoles, by the way, but the idea for us is to promote our culture, our heritage, and definitely our humanity to people of this country.
These medical personnel from both home and abroad who spearheaded the process stated that they were delighted to give back to society. Beneficiaries of the free healthcare treatment expressed gratitude for the gesture.
I appreciate the program because I don't get help now.
I appreciate this goodwill very much because it's really helpful to us. I hope to benefit more from it in subsequent years.
Hopefully participate because it's a very, very good opportunity for we.
I feel good because an opportunity to the one that we not get money.
I feel good because it is an opportunity for the less privileged. It is actually an opportunity for me specifically because I have tested my sugar level. I pray God increase their provision.
And I pray God for more, where God provide for them.
People with high blood pressure, diabetes and various eye infections were the ones that were indicated for. SLBC, Mohamed Kouma reporting.
Meanwhile, the Creole Descendant Union Maryland has donated food items and financial gift to residents of Regent Village, Hastings Community, Allentown and Waterloo. Cecilia C. reports.
Health indeed is wealth, and everyone's contribution towards developing the health sector is needed. Community people are in dire need of free health care facility to keep their bodies healthy. This goodwill by Creole
Residents in Regent, Allentown, Hastings and Waterloo were lucky to receive the Christmas basket from the Creole Descendant Union Maryland. Christmas is a time for us to rejoice, but there are people who used to work but has now retired, and things may be hard for them. That is why Creole Descendants have brought these gifts for you all, so we can all be happy. A resident of the Regent Village, Cordelia Hardin, expresses appreciation to God and the Creole Descendants Union for this surprise Christmas gift.
Retired teacher in Regent Village.
I am a retired teacher and I have lived in this community for over 6 years. I felt very happy to receive this gift because I was not expecting it. This gift will fill a big gap in my responsibilities during this Christmas season.
A small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can effectively change the world if they can give back to the world at least the equivalent of what they take out of it. SLBC News Hour, Cecilia Cisse.
SOS Children's Village Sierra Leone and a UK-based donor, the Great Football Gateway, is distributing footballs to schools, orphanages and deprived communities across the country. In McKinney, a ceremony was held at the McKinney City Council Hall, and several stakeholders from this city wherein officials from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education were in attendance. For McKinney, let's now join Hassan Foray.
Speaking to SLBC,
The Fund Development and Communications Manager, SOS Children's Village, Henry Sheku, said he received 3,000 footballs from the UK-based donor, as a distribution of the consignment would be made at various locations across the country. He said in conjunction with the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, careful selection of institutions in dire need of the kits were made that included orphanages.
So today we did Mama Kenny for distribute a total of 600 footballs.
We are here today to distribute a total of 600 footballs to schools and communities for Makeni and its surroundings. We targeted about 45 schools. Some are deprived of their talents because they don't have access to footballs.
And they will be deprived of the right to play, or they get their talents then they will not going to be sure because of access to football.
Mr. Sheku said the gesture did not come from the blues, but was actualized through a conducted needs assessment and a proposal dished out to partners stating the needs of schools. He said the support was to guarantee the right to play and to develop the talent of pupils, adding that their aim was to have a child-friendly center where children would play and meet with psychosocial experts.
One of the things that we serve on and we needs assessment also say a lacking.
One thing that came out lacking in our needs assessment was the unavailability of counselors to mentor and guide people. Some have great talent, but lose them because of that.
It would be a long way for ensuring people the skills and talent they don't develop in this country.
The head of Physical Health Education Division in the Northeast region, by Shekawuri, said the balls came at a time when they were needed most, citing the ongoing inter-school league and its challenges. They said the support was a boost to the PHE department and the ministry as a whole.
Then give 5 balls and 2 inflators then. Pump.
To give 5 footballs and 2 inflators per school made we in the PHE division and the ministry proud. We have also appealed for volleyball, games tonic and the likes. And we are happy, they were happy for the turnout.
And they feel very much impressed and say, ever with them be the worker. And I then give them the most welcome when they see the actual school picking them and they see the actual felt need of the picking them for the supply.
As said, the support was a boost to the PHE department and the ministry as a whole. He called on other partners to emulate the same, mostly in the area of female football. Beneficiaries expressed appreciation to SOS for the gesture, pledging they would make the best out of it. For Newshour, Hassan Forekama reporting for Makeni.
The prize of success is hard work, dedication, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. In that light, Sierra Leoneans from different institutions were awarded for their tremendous effort displayed in their various capacities by the NGO Diaspora Focus in their annual National Development Awards at the Golden Tulip Hotel, Aberdeen. For more on this, Fatima Kamara reports.
The National Development Awards, according to Emmanuel J. M. Stafford, was a way to appreciate and recognize the effort of those who have worked hard in their different institutions and occupations. School of the Year, Best University of the Year, Best Bank of the Year, Minister of the Year, Mayor of the Year, and many more were presented to those who won during the voting session. ASP Joan Bull Kamara is the legal director of the Sierra Leone Police, who has worked tremendously at the Sierra Leone Police and was recognized and awarded for her good work.
I'm dedicating this award to the Inspector General of Police, as I stated when I received my speech. It gave me the opportunity, it gave me the privilege to work, and you only show your talent when you're given the opportunity. He's a man who works with women in this country, and I'm happy that I have this award. I'm dedicated to him. I'm dedicated it to my parents, especially my mother.
Dr. David Moana-Senge won Best Minister of the Year, Yvonne Akisoya won Mayor of the Year, and Furabe College won Best University of the Year. Recognizing and appreciating people for their good deeds is a good initiative, and such will encourage others to do more in their various fields. For SLBC News, Fatima Kamara reports.
You are watching News Around the Weekend with me, Ibrahim Samora, coming to you live from the Salem Broadcasting Corporation here at our Newmanville studios. Sierra Leone is regarded as one of the countries with a stellar religious tolerance. It cuts across all sectors and groups, including the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, RSLAF, who held their interfaith end-of-year Thanksgiving service at the Cochrane Barracks, Freetown. Evelyn Cole was there and now reports.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma rabbana ya rabbana taqabbal innaka anta samiul alim wa tub alayna innaka anta tawwabur rahim.
The inter-end-of-year Thanksgiving service, according to the RSLAF, is a way of thanking God for seeing the first through the year 2021 and, more importantly, to be able to successfully defend Sierra Leone's territorial integrity for more than a decade now and subsequent years to come. Gracing the occasion were personalities from the military and of the country's main religions, Christianity and Islam. Delivering his lecture, Sheikh Al-Haji Fombaswari said that God has been with the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces and will continue to uplift the land.
This occasion, for it to become historic and for it to carry the flavor of history, let it be punctuated by the annual occurrences, first, second, and third, so that generation yet unborn will emulate the footprints of the forefathers.
The guest preacher, Apostle Moses K., who alluded to the theme of the service, Rise Up and Build, said, "So shall it be a new dawn for the RSLAF." Apostle K. urged RSLAF to continue to make a change both nationally and internationally.
In Isaiah 45 verse 2, Jehovah said, "Behold, I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight."
Brigadier General Saiti Jan Kanu recounted that the ceremony is to bring all RSLAF serving personnel in the western area together to congregate and harmonize and promote religious tolerance.
Well, fortunately, we have been practicing religious tolerance to a very large extent within the RSLF because we discourage discrimination generally. So you and I know that even religious intolerance is a way of discrimination. So basically, we don't discriminate religiously, we don't discriminate by gender, we don't do tribal or regional discrimination as well. So which is why we look at each other as brothers and sisters so far as you're within the armed forces. So my message going forward from this is just to continue to strengthen that bond and that relationship and that aspiration as well, to say, if you are ultimately serving within the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, you have no other option than to get involved in the form of religious tolerance. And we believe also Sierra Leone is also a country that has been labeled as one of those few countries that are practicing religious tolerance.
For SLBC News, Evelyn Cole.
Methodist Church Sierra Leone has provided food and non-food items totaling 180 million to the National Disaster Management Agency in Freetown. The gesture by the Methodist Church Sierra Leone was to help support the victims of the Wellington fire disaster admitted at the hospitals, recovering speedily. Dennis Fraser reports.
Over the years, Methodist Church Sierra Leone has been providing charity support to Sierra Leoneans in times of emergency, like the Motomed disaster, flooding and fire disaster at Susans Bay community. As a result of the fire disaster at the Wellington Old Wharf community, the church, through its partner, the Methodist Church UK, deemed it fit to also lend a hand of goodwill to affected persons. Presenting the items to the Director General, National Disaster Management Agency, Administrative Bishop Reverend Roland Bob Williams said that they asked a church does not countenance the cost or energy put into the donation, but for the purpose of God's blessing, they have thought of such gesture.
The Methodist Church Sierra Leone is not new to giving assistance to supporting disaster issues in Sierra Leone. We've been supporting disaster victims in many different ways, bottom flooding, etc., etc. So when this thing happened, we thought as a church that we should not sit back, but to come together to what we can do. It's better late than never. Not because we thought of it lately, but because we are planning. And we have partners also who are abroad in UK, the Methodist Church in UK, who actually came in to be with us in doing this.
The Director General, National Disaster Management Agency, retired Lieutenant General Brahma Sise, said they were pleased to receive the items.
Receiving a series of donations from well-wishers, from organizations, from the international community, from our partners within, since we had that unfaithful incident on the 5th of November.
It is expected that the items provided by Methodist Church Sierra Leone will have a great impact on those hospitalized in different hospitals. SABC News Hour, Dennis Fraser reporting.
Well, let's now take top stories making the news around Africa. Gabon's top football coach is suspected of having sexually abused hundreds of children. President Ali Bongo Odiba asked the judiciary to investigate and include all sport federations in order to eradicate what he described as sexual predators. According to Sport Minister Frank Inuma, Patrick Osumui, coach of the national under-17 team until 2017, is said to have abused hundreds of young boys over the years in his various football coaching roles. Inuma added that the alleged victim have not contacted the authorities due to lack of trust in the Gabonese justice system. The case was revealed on Thursday by the British newspaper The Guardian, and the scandal led to the suspension of the suspect from Gabonese Football Federation. A month after the clashes against a French convoy of Operations Barkhane in the Sahel, Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum has called on France to open an investigation into the clashes that took place in November on the route of the military convoy of the Bahraini force. Bazoum made his call in a televised address as the country marks 63 years of independence from France. Reports drawn up by Niamey revealed that 3 people had been killed and 17 others wounded in shootings attributed to the Nigerian forces. The supply convoy, which arrived in Ivory Coast earlier in the month, had crossed into Burkina Faso before entering Niger on its way to its destination in Mali. It was heading for a base at Kawu in the central Mali, a hub for France's Bahraini operation, which is shoring up alliance in the Sahel against a jihadist insurgency that began in northern Mali only a decade ago. Hundreds of Senegalese on Friday took to the streets of the country capitals Dakar in a protest accusing the government of subjecting opposition figures to lengthy detentions. Many of the protestants directed their anger at President Macky Sall, who has been accused of interfering in judicial cases to suit his political interest. An activist of the protest says he had joined the protest in solidarity with the citizens' demands concerning a two-tier justice system, a justice system that refuses to be calm and serious when it comes to dealing with cases concerning activist and opponent. The protesters called for the release of a leading member of the activist group YE, Imari Biasani Sek, who was arrested on visa trafficking charges. Well, those are stories making the news around Africa. It's now time for our entertainment news.
Welcome to the Entertainment Desk. I am Maria Tudukuri. In entertainment headlines today, top model of the world is having press conference and unveiling. Delwyn Coker is a popular pageant trainer in the country, and he is the official trainer of the top model of the world, Sierra Leone. He said that people have always looked at beauty pageantry as a stepping stone to nightlife, but emphasized that it's about the brains.
Here as a trainer, it's been very, very much hard because changing the concepts of beauty pageants from what people have been looking at before, but now we are changing it because people thought beauty pageants were a stepping stone to prostitutional activities. We are here pushing a case across, saying no to prostitutional activity, but beauty pageants. And secondly, beauty pageant is not about facial or body stature. It's about brains.
Serena Golson is a beauty queen with many hats. She said the reason for this event was to bring economic growth in Sierra Leone by identifying youths that have talents, groom them, and open doors of opportunities to our local content for it to look good.
The name is Tiglia Golson, and I've been into pageantry for the past 20 years. I started early since school age. I've won titles like inter-school, universities, Miss UMC, Miss Charity, oh my God, and Miss Freetown, Miss Sierra Leone, and then it went further with international pageantry that has to do with I was the first to represent Sierra Leone Miss World 2008, and then World Galaxy for Miss World 2008 I was semi-finalist, and then for Miss World Galaxy I was first runner-up 2010 in Germany, and then I headed for top model of the world. See how we can bring economic growth in Sierra Leone. Foster economic growth is to first of all identify youths that have talent that we can mold as entrepreneurs. There should be this future of ethics in them. Educationally, they should be inclined, and they should be audible. They should be ready to promote each and every brand that will be on board to promote the event, because there are going to be pitch sessions.
Ethics, pre-screening, innovations are some of the things that they will be looking for this competition. Interested competitors, both male and female, must be between the ages of 18 to 26 years, must be of a height of 5'10" and above for the height requirement. Forms are now out and available for 100,000 leones, and the auditions would be on the 15th of January 2022. But all those who buy the forms would go through a training slated for Tuesday, or starting on Tuesday the 21st of December 2021 at Family Kingdom from 5 to 7 p.m. And then all those who went through the training would be auditioned on the 15th of January next month to pick out who will officially compete.
The interested contestants are being trained before we can do auditions. We just can't do auditions like that.
That's what I mean. That's all we have in this edition of Entertainment News. I have been Maria Tudukuri. Keep watching the SLC.
Well, now for the latest update in sports.
In this edition of the latest sport news with me, Mohamed Lamin Tui. In recent times, there have been many controversies surrounding the relationship between Hawa and Musa Tumbo. There are concerns as to whether the relationship between the two is a genuine one. The engagement between the two couples will not put to rest these numerous concerns. Frances Bernard has been following the event.
Bull Ranger striker Musa Noah Kamara, popularly known as Musa Tumbo, has engaged his girlfriend Hawa in a colorful ceremony held at Kausu Street, Bo City. The ceremony attracted players, football fans, administrators, and executive members of the Bull Rangers Football Club. The prolific goal puncher for Bull Rangers did promise and has finally delivered by engaging the love of his life, Hawa Tumbo.
In news, the FIFA Player Status Committee has, in a correspondence to the SLAFA, issued guidelines of eligibility to the Sierra Leone Football Association for Stephen Roy Coker, Issa Kalon and Jonathan Mosse to play for the representative team of SLAFA with immediate effect. The decision follows requests made by the SLAFA for change of association of Coker and Kalon, seeking clarification of the status of Mosse. In the international scene, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has agreed a partnership with Sky Sports, which will see the channel broadcast all 52 games of the African Cup of Nations live. In January and February, Sky will cover the Cameroon-based tournament that has been postponed since last summer due to COVID-19. And that's it for Sports Updates. I am Mohamed Lantu.
Many thanks to you, Mohamed Lamin Tui, for that latest update in sports. Well, to end the news, the main point again. President Julius Maada has arrived in Istanbul, Turkey for a two-day third Turkey-African Partnership Summit with its theme, Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity. The Minister of Internal Affairs, David Noah, has launched the UN Peace Building Fund cross-border project to be implemented between Sierra Leone and Guinea. And the mayor, as part of her transforming Freetown into one of the cleanest in the world, has launched the Solid Waste Management Micro-Enterprise Program. Many thanks for viewing the SLBC with me, Ibrahim Samura. Stay tuned, stay safe, and have a night rest. If you can, good night.